This is Optimal Living Daily Relationships, episode 194, The Antidote to Self-Harshness and Resentment by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to OLD Relationships. This is the show where I narrate to you from some of the best relationship blogs in the world every weekday free of charge. If you're looking for advice on dating or parenting, or just want to hear an inspirational post about ways to build self-confidence, this is the show for you. Also, for those of you who may be new here, our show features episodes that are all about 10 minutes or less, and for many of our listeners, the content is life-changing. So please don't hesitate to share our show with your friends, colleagues, or anyone else who may be interested. Just send them a link right to oldpodcast.com/listen or simply show them how to subscribe right on their phone. Today, I have a post from Babauta that proposes a solution to self-harshness and resentment. So without further ado, let's hear what Leo has to say and start optimizing your life. The Antidote to Self-Harshness and Resentment by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. There are two poisons that have hurt me so much over the years. Number 1, self-harshness. I have so often been critical of myself, harsh on myself about all my little failures, that this harshness has become one of the biggest things holding me back. And number 2, resentment. I've increasingly become aware of how I have a mental pattern of resentment that hurts my relationships, especially with my loved ones. They don't behave the way I want, so I notice myself feeling resentful that they couldn't do things differently. The truth is, these are the biggest problems for most of us. We don't love ourselves the way we are. We don't love others the way they are. And the harshness that results is painful and harmful to us and the people we love most. How do we deal with these two poisons? There's a simple antidote. It's not easy, but it's pretty simple. It's a habit of loving that which we normally dislike. In fact, this small habit can transform all of our problems. Imagine for a moment that you've been procrastinating. I know, a stretch. Just go with it. You're running from something that makes you uncomfortable, and you go to your favorite distraction instead. What if, instead of running from the discomfort and uncertainty, you gave them some love? You wouldn't have to run. You'd face the uncertainty with love and just work in the midst of it. Imagine that you have anxiety about something coming up. Let's say a presentation. You're afraid of the presentation because you have uncertainty about how you'll do. You want to get away from this uncertainty. What if you practice loving this uncertainty? You might not feel so anxious. What if you gave some of that good love to your feelings of anxiety as well? You wouldn't be harsh on yourself about being anxious. It's easier said than done, of course. So how do you get better at it? Practice. Antidote practice. Here's how to work with this practice. Number 1. Imagine a good friend or loved one, someone who you can love wholeheartedly with ease. Send this person some love right now. Wish for them to be happy. Love them just as they are, in all their wonder. Now, here's the important part. Notice where in your body you feel this love. This is your love muscle. It's not dirty. Get your mind out of the gutter. Practice some more, so that you can call up this feeling of love from your love muscle at will. Number 2. Now turn your love muscle onto something about yourself. Notice something about yourself that you like. Work the love muscle and love this thing about yourself. Number 3. Practice on something you don't like. Now try turning the love muscle onto something about yourself that you're usually not fond of. You know how to use the love muscle by now. So give it a shot. How can you love this thing about yourself just as it is? Imagine a good friend who is having a hard time, who is flawed. Can you love that good friend? Can you produce the same feeling of love about this part of yourself? Try it with different parts of yourself, both physical parts and mental or emotional parts of you. Number 4, practice on other people. Notice things about other people that you like. Send love to these things. Now, notice things that you don't like. Send love to these things as well. Practice on people all day long. Number 5, practice when you feel resentment. When you notice yourself resenting something about another person or resenting their behavior, send love to this part of the person. Love them as they are. Exercise your love muscle. Send love to the part of you that was feeling frustration or resentment. Number 6, practice when you're feeling harsh on yourself. Whenever you notice yourself disliking something about yourself, send love to this thing about yourself. Send love to the part of you that dislikes the other part. Basically, you can practice all the time, over and over, reminding yourself and practicing. You can practice on everything. Here are some examples. 1, when you have been lazy or procrastinated, notice the feeling of harshness or disappointment that comes up in yourself. Give this feeling your full attention and all of your love. 2, when you eat too much or eat junk food, notice the feeling of pleasure but also guilt. Give both these feelings your love. 3, when you are interacting with someone and they annoy you, notice the annoyance. Give some loving to this feeling of annoyance and to the person who is annoying you. 4, when you've been distracted all day, maybe feeling a bit anxious, notice the feelings of being distracted, of rushing, of anxiety. Love these feelings with all your heart. 5, when you notice your heart shutting down to someone or to some experience, notice what it feels like when your heart starts to shut down. Love this feeling of shutting down and love the thing you're shutting down to. And 6, when you're meditating and feeling like you're not good at it, notice what not being good at it feels like. Turn to that experience and give it some love. Love the part of you that is attempting this at all. And so on. Every experience, every feeling, every person, every aspect of life, you can love it as the Dalai Lama would, as Jesus would, as the biggest hearted goddess of love would. You are practicing loving life itself, and that's something worth falling in love with. You just listened to the post titled, The Antidote to Self-Harshness and Resentment by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I always feel so uplifted after reading Leo's content, and I hope you do too. So I just want to say thanks again to Leo for letting us share his content with you so frequently here on the show. And please don't hesitate to share the show with your friends or family members. Every Monday through Friday, I narrate from some of the best blogs in the world regarding dating, marriage, family, parenting, you name it, as long as it's within the realm of relationships. Our listeners frequently reach out about how impactful and life-changing the content is. So hopefully that's the case for you and your family and friends as well. To share the show, send them a link right to oldpodcast.com/listen or simply show them how to subscribe right on their phone. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you again tomorrow with a post from Gottman.com, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode. And head to oldpodcast.com, that's OLDpodcast.com, for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.